Everyone, Boker Tov. And Siman Rishman Vav Seif Dalid. Just before starting Seif Dalid, the Be'er Hetev over here brings a case where, let's say, a person has an animal, let's say a horse, and the governor or someone of status comes to him and says, "Look, I need to rent your animal," or so you can't say no in that case, and he's going to be using your animal over Shabbat. So either if you're able to sell it to him, even for something small, say, "Look, okay, no problem. I don't want to lend it to you or rent it to you because you're going to use my animal over Shabbat for melacha. So just pay me $5 and now you own it." If you could do something like that, fine. Or, of course, if you could be mafkir, like the Shulchan Aruch says, just give away ownership, and then when he brings it back, then kind of re-own it. That could work. So it's basically the case of the Shulchan Aruch, but just seems like it was an actual case that happened. Shulchan Aruch over here says a case as follows. Let's say you have animals that you rent out. So let's say a non-Jewish person, he needs animals to plow his field. So he rents out your animals, and he's going to be doing melacha with it, and it's going to be renting it for over Shabbat. So the question here is, what is considered ownership to, let's say you sell an animal to a non-Jew. That's it. You sold it to him, and it's not your responsibility anymore. I mean, the animal had to keep Shabbat while it was under your jurisdiction. Now that you sold it to a goy, it totally belongs to a goy, and that's it. He doesn't have to keep Shabbat anymore. Different owner. Now, if you rent it out, so does that mean now that the goy is like the owner or not? So the Shulchan Aruch says, Yesh matirim, there are those that are lenient. If the non-Jew accepts upon himself all responsibility of the animal, as a renter usually does, except for the fact that he can't sell it. So the non-Jew accepts upon himself that if it dies, he'll pay the owner back. If it gets stolen, he'll pay the owner back. If it goes down in value for whatever reason, he'll pay the owner back. So some say that's, even though you can't sell it, that's enough of ownership to be considered that the goy could use the animal on Shabbat. And there are those that say no, at the end of the day, because he can't sell it, that's the main thing, and therefore you can't use the animal over Shabbat, even if you rent it to him. So the ruling goes as follows. The Shulchan Aruch over here says, Yesh matirim, there are those that say it's allowed, Ve'yesh omrim, no, and some say no. So the Mishnah Brura and the general ruling of the Shulchan Aruch is lenient. Because here's some rules of Shulchan Aruch. We mentioned before a rule, stam ve'yesh. Stam is, the Shulchan Aruch says a statement. Yesh omrim, some say this. So we go with the stam. We go with the regular statement. Some say that. But let's say he starts off, some say this, some say that. Yesh omrim zeh, yesh omrim that. In general, the rule of the Shulchan Aruch is like the second yesh omrim. Here there was a difference, because it starts off yesh matirim, and then yesh omrim. Then some say stringent. So in that case, the wording is like the yesh matirim. So it would be allowed, even though it's not full ownership, but renting would be allowed. With the goy accepting for himself everything else, of course, except for selling. Okay, that's it for today. Mincha tonight at 5:50. Have a good day, everyone.